Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 11 of the Living Room Fight Club. Tonight, I've got one of my dearest friends with me here, Mr. Thom Keen.
Hello.
Tom, introduce yourself. Tell us about your jiu-jitsu prowess.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. I'm Thom. I train at the Combat Academy. I'm a purple belt. Been training about 5.5, just over 5.5 years now. Got my purple belt late last year, and I've been getting driven into the ground like a fucking tent peg ever since.
Oh, you've got to love it. You've got to love it.
That's part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's all part of the fun, and you're there to get better. Unfortunately, getting your face fucking morphed into the mat, it's kind of part of it.
My face is part of the mat. It's
fucking right.
It's fine. They exist together now. That's just how.
That's it. They are one. They are one. Tom, obviously, you have competed before. Tell us about where you competed, and tell us a bit about the experience, like how you felt leading up towards it, moments before it, whilst competing, what was going through your mind. Just tell us a bit.
Well, I'm going to state now, I'm not going to be one of these people who's going to be like, I fought under these major, like, I'm very much not like, I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I train mainly just to keep myself sane. But I've done a few like local tournaments. I've competed in Cambridge and in London and stuff like that. And obviously we're based in Suffolk, so it's going out a bit. But it's like within a few hours drive. It's not like I'm not going to try and hype myself up in any way at all.
You're
competing.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's quite like I haven't competed at purple belt yet. I'm looking to in the next couple of months actually. So
that'll be cool. But, get me involved, mate. Get me involved.
I competed a couple of times at blue belt. Had some really good matches actually. I was lucky, and obviously I know there's probably people who are going to be higher ranked than me listening to this, but being around people who compete as well, like really regularly. I'm lucky enough to have coaches that compete at a really high level, like consistently, and training partners that can, they have titles and like multiple titles in the IBJJF and stuff, which is really high, like it's very highly regarded organisation in jiu-jitsu that hosts like very high level tournaments. Like all the high level people will like, if, in jiu-jitsu you won't have a name unless you've got titles in there. Essentially, like you need to be proving yourself at that level, and their rule set is pretty much the standard for jiu-jitsu. And as far as competing, like while I haven't competed at purple belt yet, I've competed a couple of times at blue belt and was lucky enough to compete against guys who'd like held the national title in my weight category and stuff. So I've got to have some good matches and test myself at a good level. But you don't win them all, kids.
Absolutely.
Got injured. Got injured. I tore like a couple of ligaments in my foot and stuff, and wasn't able to train much after that for a little while. And went straight back into tournaments, and it's a hell of a feeling.
I can imagine.
That's where you put everything to the test. So it's a good way to, I think if you're going to do any kind of, one of the big four really which is boxing, Muay Thai, BJJ. And wrestling for me. Those are the big four. If you're going to do something like that, like where it's to actually just work rather than, all these bullshido McDojo shit you see. Like you if you want to really find out where you're at, like train for a couple of months and then just go to a tournament and just test yourself. Like, as long as you tap, you'll be fine. Maybe not Muay Thai, you'll probably go to the hospital anyway if you're Muay Thai. If you win, you're going to the hospital, but why not? Like it's just a good way to test yourself and see where you're at. You don't make a professional career. I've trained with guys who are like plumbers and they're really good. They beat the shit out of me.
Absolutely, that's it. This is the thing with that sort of martial art. You don't know who you're going up against. They might look like somebody who you could be like, oh, do you not understand purple belt? Do you know what I mean? You think, I might be all right here, and then old plumber Joe from down the road comes up and gets you in. You know what I mean? When you're testing yourself, like you said, you competed against the division, your division's champion or medalist.
The guy had the national. He won the nationals the year before.
Yeah. When you're up against that person, obviously you're the same belt. Did you feel a difference in terms of your skill level at the time? Obviously, you're now purple belt, but at the time, did you think, wow, like this blue belt is a much higher level blue belt than I am at the time, or was it?
It was a pretty impressive, to be fair, because I've got two instances. But this particular guy, I had a really good match with him, actually. We swept each other back and forth. We both were scoring on each other. I think I was only about 1 or 2 points behind him before he subbed me anyway. But the submission, we had really similar games. So like when he submitted me, I was like, holy shit, that was fucking really cool. I want to learn how to do that. And then for the like 4 months after like that happened, I just went over that position so much from that guard, that particular type of guard that he got me with. And well, they had me when he submitted me, and I that's now like part of my bread and butter. That's like a stable point of my game now. That's what I go to because it's so well. And he's now, I know that pretty sure he got his purple belt before me. So if we're the same weight now, it'd be awesome if I got to go against him again.
Man, that's cool. That's cool.
It's cool. Like, that's what I like about jiu-jitsu. There's no one fucking beefing at each other and shit. It's like we're all just working and we're doing this for fun.
That's it. Yeah, it's all the sat. You like jiu-jitsu, I like jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I mean? Like we're here to just better ourselves at the game. Like you said, you learn something from him. You took something from that competition where you like, that was so cool. I need to do this.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
Mate, that must have been a cool experience. I know Paul Felder has mentioned that before. I think it's when he was watching an Arnold Allen fight. He was saying it was Arnold Allen's lead leg kick. He was saying like, oh my god, the way he's throwing it, he's never tried that before. And even Paul Felder was like, I'm going in the gym and doing it this way. Do you know what I mean? And trying it out. So it's cool. I love seeing stuff like that. You know, everyone learning from each other. That's what it's all about. You know. So fair play to that, Tom. I'm glad. I like to say, love that you got your purple belt now. Honestly, it feels like it's that's come along pretty quickly. It feels like it to me anyway.
Well, I mean, it feels like the longest 5 years or so in my life, to be honest.
Yeah. I've watched it from the back lines, you know what I mean? You've been in there, you know, getting your face fucking smushed in, but, you know, for me, it feels like pretty quick, you know, but yeah, I'm as your close friend, I'm very proud of you.
Appreciate it, man. And it's one of the only things I've probably managed to get that I'm sort of like, I'm actually quite happy about that. But obviously, you know, there's fucking levels. This is the thing, though,
definitely.
right? Like, there's me compared to like a good brown belt, like a brown belt who's been a brown belt as long as I've been a purple belt. I rarely have like a neutral position on them. They'll just be fucking smashing me. Like, there's so many levels. Like, the way that I can, like, against a guy my weight who's never trained before and comes in the gym, I can like just play with them, and brown belts will play with me like I'm a new guy. Like,
really?
Mate, there's guys in my gym who are my size and my age, and they're just about like higher than me, and there's not shit I can do against them. Like,
love that.
When, like in any of it, like, it's so addictive. Like, you take it one or two ways normally. Like, anyone will, at least from my experience, like watching, because I didn't train the gym I'm at now. I've trained with the same coaches, but this gym opened like last year. So before we were training out of like a little crappy hall.
Yeah.
And it was basically like the team I'm under, which is part of the R team, we had two gyms in shout out. We had two gyms in Suffolk at the time, like we're really close. Which one was one that I trained at, and one was one that one of my coaches, Yanis, was running. And we were under the same affiliation. We were right down the road from each other. So both of them had trained with each other since they were white belts, and they both got their black belts the same year. So they just were like, fuck it, let's just get a place in town and turn it into a sick jiu-jitsu gym and just join the gyms together. And that's what happened. But seeing people come in the gym, there's one or two things that will happen. And I'm pretty sure you would have seen this when you did MMA or boxing, or even when you did grappling, is that people will come in and they'll either get smashed and they'll go, yeah, that was awesome. How the hell did I do that? Or they'll go, oh, fuck that. You know, I'm not doing that. This isn't for me. And they'll just leave. And that's fair enough. It's not for everyone. But there's one or two ways people will take it. And I'm glad that we're the type of people who are like, oh, shit, this is cool.
Honestly, I'm the exact same. I love getting my ass kicked. It's one of my favourite feelings. I remember when I did MMA, obviously, I'm going to be coming back to training with you in the next couple of weeks, which I'm excited about. But when I used to do MMA, I used to, you know, ask to spar my coach often, not because, you know, I think I'm old fucking big bollocks, it's because I knew that is not the case. You know, I would get my ass kicked by pretty much everybody in the gym. But the reason I asked to spar my coach is because I know he would push me to my absolute limits. Do you know what I mean? And it still fuck me up whenever he wants, sorry. You know, but yeah, that was my favourite thing, because afterwards I'd just be like fucking hell, like, I'm shit. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I loved it. Honestly, it done nothing but made me at the time want to get better. Do you know what I mean? It drove me. You know, like I said, I'll get my ass kicked by everyone at the gym. But yeah, like you said, it goes one of two ways. And for you and me, and for most, you know, not most people, but a lot of people, it's just like, oh wow, like, I'm actually not very good. You know, I need to learn how to do this. You know.
Yeah.
So
like Interesting as well, like when people join, whether it's like I say, boxing or Muay Thai, whatever it is, grappling, any kind of grappling, whatever it is, a lot of people are scared when they come in to spar like the higher level people, like the brown belts and the black belts,
Yeah.
because they think they're going to get hurt.
That's not how that works.
That's not
Do you know what I mean?
Like
they're not going to kill you. They're there to help you learn and get better at the game.
Safest rounds, because they know so much more than you. There's nothing you can do that they don't know how to shut down. Whereas if you go with another new guy and you don't know what the fuck to do, you just know I'm going to grab you and squeeze your fucking neck and you ask me to stop.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, that's how people get hurt. So, like if anyone new, just fucking don't be afraid to spar with the black belts and shit.
No.
They're the ones.
Yeah, trust me, that's it. Again, going back to when I used to ask my coach, it wasn't because, anything like that. It was just purely because he can do everything so well that I knew I was in safe hands. You know what I mean? Like you say, you spar someone new, inside leg kick, for example, they're going to fucking go for it. Do you get what I'm saying? Things like that, they're going to fucking...
Well, calf
like
kick.
You say,
like one guy's going to watch the calf kick on YouTube and go, oh, that was good, and they're just going to boot your calf in.
Exactly. Whereas when you're with these high people, oh my word, you're going to not come back to that.
You're not going to come back.
But when you're with your coaches, when you're with like these high level fighters, they do nothing but the best things for you because they know exactly what to do. They know exactly everything. They know the perfect technique, and that's what it's all about. Anyway, you mentioned calf kicks. Let's talk about calf kicks for a minute. In the past, I would say probably three-ish years, I'd say they have been a massive, massive thing implemented into MMA. We didn't see it much before, but of recent time, it's been a massive factor in a lot of fights.
Well, like, the first guy who was sort of known for it was Benson Henderson, wasn't it? Like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like probably about 7 years ago, but he was pretty much the only guy who did it, and obviously he's sort of like not prime Benson Henderson.
No,
so
I agree. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, it was Benson Henderson.
It's like in the last 3 years, I think sort of people, like you say, people just sort of weird as weird as it sounds, like COVID, just before COVID.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
That's when it was starting to ramp up. It's so shit getting kicked in a fucking calf. It's so shit. Like, we were doing foot sweeps at the gym the other day, and I went with someone who was new because I didn't want him to, just have to sit out and watch. I was like, yeah, I'll go. No problem. And we were doing foot sweeps, like take like a takedown for like a judo style like foot sweep. And when you do that, you want to use the bottom of your foot. You don't just want to kick someone in the fucking legs. He was just like, okay, so I just kick your leg out, and I was like, kind of, and then it was like a Muay Thai class. Really? My fucking leg out. My leg was fucked.
Yeah, that's crazy. The thing is with the calf, it's such a small muscle, it can't recover very well, especially when you've got a shin bone from a trained kicker just going bang, bang. Do you know what I mean? It's like you say, three calf kicks in a lot of fights. You can see them swapping stances. They're already like knackering them out. And the thing is, that's it. Yeah. That's what I mean. It doesn't hold damage well, does it? It doesn't hold damage well.
It shows.
And the thing is, the knee is right there as well. You see a lot of people getting kicked in the knees. A lot of knees being blown out recent time as well. You know what I mean? That leads into it. Going from calf kicks, obviously MMA came from multiple martial arts, karate versus, I don't know, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu versus kung fu at the time. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. What would you say your four main martial arts are in the UFC MMA scene? Well, what would you say are the four you need to look out for?
Like I said before, just the Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling and boxing. I find typically in America, American fighters, you find a lot of high-level boxing and high-level wrestlers. You look at Daniel Cormier, you look at Stipe Miocic, you look at all these John Jones, not necessarily known for their striking, but you can't be at that level and just have wrestling.
Yeah,
but also for sure. Jiu-Jitsu is just, for me, I'm going to root for Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to be biased. Obviously, I'm going to be biased.
You're a Jiu-Jitsu guy, man.
Look at fucking Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. Look at the other night. Look at the submissions you saw the other night. Fucking Makayev getting out of that goddamn knee bar and just fucking laying it off.
That is the most savage thing I've seen.
That's crazy. Listen to my knee. I don't know if you heard that. My AirPods might stand. Oh, there you go. It popped then.
Yeah.
But my knee's popping just thinking about that knee bar. Yeah. That's not all right.
That's not all right, honestly. The fact that the guy is like a 22-year-old guy and his knee is inside of his least fucking toes are pointing towards his head, and he's just like, oh no, I was gonna let it rip. Do you know what I mean? It's
So
like,
crazy.
oh my, you savage,
So
you
crazy.
absolute
That
savage.
that's a like potentially
It is.
like that could change
Yeah.
the whole way you fight. That type of
Absolutely,
injury. But
absolutely.
I tore my
It's savage.
meniscus like 3 years ago. Never got surgery on it. I was probably meant to, but the COVID lockdown came in like about a month
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I did it. And the NHS is free, but it's not always running on time. So I didn't get any surgery on it, and like to this day, like I had to change everything about how I pass guard because of my tearing that. Like, I can't even begin to imagine what it's like fucking being caught in a knee bar like that and not tapping. That does some serious damage. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's something that surprises me. You asked me about like the stars matching up against other martial arts. Is you look at someone like Usman, where he's known for having such bad knees, but like everyone knows that, but like everyone also knows that his wrestling prowess is so good. They can't look to like leg lock someone like Usman because if you get bottom position and he has top position, it doesn't matter how good you are at jiu-jitsu, that good of a wrestler on top of you is not fucking good.
It's not a good
and
time.
That's where the style starts to fucking flow. And it's, I just love how they all weave together. But for me, jiu-jitsu is always going to be like my prime example is going to be someone like fucking Charles Oliveira. You know, he's just subbing everyone.
Yeah, and he can do it from his back as well. Like any position, you know what I mean? He can just wrap them up. That's what I like. I know we saw a fight the other day, Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. As Ryan Spann went to go in for Nikita Krylov was on his back. Ryan Spann came in to try and overhand him, you know, from the onto the floor, and he literally Krylov shot his legs up, and he literally just went right into a triangle, fell right into it. Yeah, it's crazy how you know it only takes half a second, and you're tapping. Do you know what I mean?
That's insane. The thing. It's like. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of people who don't know what it's like being in that position probably look at it and go, "Oh, I wouldn't have tapped." And it's like, they go, "Oh, I'll just let you put me to sleep." But
you would not. I mean, you would not.
It's not really very fucking nice being squeezed so hard your brain wants to turn off. That's not fun.
I feel like it's not fun. I wish they understood. I feel like casuals, they think it's like, oh, I can't breathe. And you think, I can hold my breath for a long time. No. What you don't understand is your head becomes a pressure cooker. All your blood is trapped in there. They're called blood chokes for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your head feels like it's going to explode. It's not about, I can't breathe. That too, you can't breathe. But your head is also about to fucking explode. That's the difference.
Caught in a deep fucking guillotine or something, like, I'll just push them forward and take them down. It's like, if you take someone down when they've got you in a guillotine, and you go the wrong fucking way, they're falling on your head while they're choking you. You knock yourself out in the canvas. But secondly, it's less like your windpipe is being flattened against someone's bones. That's not fucking like you don't just muscle out of that.
No, that's what I mean.
That's not how
There's a reason people go to sleep and you can't just I'm built different. I'll get up. I'll just pull on here. Yeah, you don't think that's how it works? You think that's how it works? These high level fighters that have been doing it for 20 years, you're thinking. Not me. I'd get out of that. I'm built different. I see red.
I've got that dog in me. I've just got that dog in me.
Oh my god, I fucking love it.
I bench more than you, so I just stand up.
Oh, you hear it all the time.
I've heard that. I've
had someone bench more than you, so I'd get you up, stand up.
They were like, if you had me in an armbar, would I not just be, I can curl really like heavy, so I could just curl you in, you just wouldn't be able to extend my arm. I was like, okay, mate.
Bless you for thinking that. That's very sweet of you.
It's just not how physics works.
That's not how it works. Absolutely not. I just wanted to quickly brush on UFC 286 at the weekend.
Gotta go over
obviously, the British boys here, we have to talk about Mr. Leon Edwards.
What a beautiful fight.
I think it was a great fight. I heard, some people, they thought it was a boring fight. For me, I thought it was a fantastic fight. It was
chess match.
Super high level mixed martial arts there.
It was a chess match. And something else that really actually, I was just surprised about was a lot of people thought that was the wrong decision. A lot of people gave that to Usman.
I can't believe that.
I just don't understand how.
Obviously...
It wasn't even that close.
This is what I think. I don't see what Usman done that won him the fight. I think he had 5 minutes of control time, and the thing is, on the flip side, I'm a massive advocate of control time is still control time. However, in title fights, I think it's very important how you define this control time. When you have a guy like Usman who can be such a, obviously Leon Edwards is a fantastic wrestler. I think with that, he had 5 minutes of control time. He needed to do some offense in that control time to make it worthy of all he done. Like, I can't tell you a time where he had a dominant control time for more than 30 seconds. It was racked up over the whole fight. Fair play, still the control time, but he done nothing in that control time. I understand he hurt Edwards, I would say, probably once on the feet.
Yeah.
And I understand that Edwards grabbed the cage and got a point deducted. With that said, I personally think the only round Edwards lost was the third round because of the cage grab.
Yeah, fair.
That's my opinion. This is the thing. I need to watch it again. I don't want to think I'm being biased because I'm British, and obviously the home crowd, that obviously plays a factor. It makes the home fighters like moves more significant with the home crowd. So I'd have to rewatch it. But from my memory, I think Leon Edwards fought the perfect fight, and I don't see what Usman done to win him back the championship belt. I think Leon Edwards landed much bigger strikes, had many more moments.
Definitely.
To me, I don't think it was that close. I thought Leon Edwards was the clear victor, in my opinion.
Well, he was landing the cleaner shots, and like you say, like A, control time doesn't trump strikes landed or output, and B, how do you define control time? Because if Leon Edwards is moving backwards to bait Usman into a shot, which happens quite a lot, who's controlling that there? Who's landing the shots? It comes down to, and obviously if you're going to look at it like that, then Usman wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
But I'll have to watch it again and score it. But I think I had Leon in the first two. I had a draw for the round 3. And then I had Usman in the 4th, and I had Leon for the 5th. But I'll have to go back and watch it. But that's why I had it then. Obviously, there's no debating that was a blatant glove grab and fence grab.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blatant. At first, the glove, when they called it, I was like, are you sure that was a glove grab? And the replay, I was like, that's a fucking glove grab.
That's exactly what that looks like.
He's right in there.
Yeah.
But it was a great fight, and fucking Leon was landing those leg kicks right out the gate. And Usman, like I said earlier, known for bad knees. It's just such a smart game plan, and it worked. I think that sort of set the blueprint for the type of way that people are going to have to try and beat Usman. It's definitely shown he ain't getting put away. Other than that headshot in the last one.
Of course, but that can happen to anybody.
I mean, honestly, I thought he was going to win the fight at first. Like, before the fight happened, I was expecting Usman to win it, because in their second fight, I did think if that knockout hadn't happened, Leon would not have won that fight. Yeah. He was getting dominated for that fight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is almost in reverse, but without a knockout, where Leon was dominating. He was just all over him in every aspect. Every time he got taken down, he got back up. Yeah. I think other than one when the round might have ended, but I don't even know if that's right. I think he might have even got back up. But there was no submission threat at all. Nah. And again, you want to say, like, control time. Control time also accounts for top position in grappling exchange. Yeah. And if you're, like, doing anything with that, if you're taking someone down and you're just flattening them out, not even passing their guard, because Leon actually has, like, good guard. He had good half guard. He managed to retain it. Sure. You're not in a mount. You're not on back on someone's back with like hooks in. You're not like threatening their neck and like ripping kimuras off and shit. Like, you're just holding them on the floor until they get back up. Yeah. Anything using more energy getting them down to the mat than they are using energy to get back up. Yeah. So, I clearly gave it to Leon.
Yeah, like I say, I totally agree. I think control time is still control time. I'm a massive advocate of that. But I think when you have high-level fights, I think it needs to be broken down a little bit better. It can't just say 5 minutes of control time on the screen. Yeah, definitely. I think it needs to be taken a bit further and think about, what type of control it actually was. If he was just holding him down, there was no offense. This is the thing. I know with Kamaru, when he was fighting Woodley, obviously fucking dominated. But when he had him up against the fence in the clinches, he was still working to the body. Do you know what I mean? Just constant bang, 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 like this. Yeah. There was none of that. Was none of that. He had Edwards up against the fence for a little bit of time, and it was just holding, trying to work position. Fair
trying
play.
To get grip.
It wasn't stagnant, but it wasn't, It
wasn't threatening.
I don't think... this is the thing. There was no threat there. So, yeah, from what I thought Edwards was the clear victor.
Definitely.
I will need to rewatch it, but on the 20th, that's where I'm at.
We've also got Gaethje's fight. Can we just mention that for a second? Because holy shit, is it Fiziev or Fiziev? I can't remember how it's pronounced.
I have said both, mate. I have said both.
That guy.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about his hand speed?
The speed, kick speed.
Speed in general.
Speed.
Is there anyone faster in that whole division?
No, I can't. I don't think I can't think
anyone
of anybody
faster in that whole division. Because I don't think that gets talked about enough. Everyone's like, oh, they're good wrestlers and they're good strikers, but they don't talk about the fucking speed difference. Power difference, Gaethje.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But
it showed.
Yeah, it did show. It really it definitely did. It did. But you are right. I don't think of anybody in the top in the lightweight division that's faster than him. I did not see many in the first couple rounds. Sorry, I did not see his kicks. I just heard them.
They just.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't even see him. Oh, it's the maddest thing I've ever seen. I was expecting the fight. It was. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, you have Gaethje in there. That's what you're gonna get. And especially you match him up with a fucking Muay Thai expert like Fiziev. That'd have been crazy. It was gonna be crazy no matter what. But yeah, the speed difference to me was the first thing that stood out during the fight. I was thinking, oh my god, Gaethje can't hit him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gaethje can't get near him at this point.
But then Gaethje closed that distance and started landing that uppercut. Holy
that was beautiful for him.
That
beautiful
damage. That was sort of the way, wasn't it? With speed comes, you get tired quick if you're that fast. You can't stay that fast for a whole fight. Even though it was a 3-round fight, you can't keep that up for 3 rounds at that pace.
That's a long
because they were scrapping right out of the gate.
Yeah.
That's
and that's the thing with Gaethje. With Gaethje,
he can do that. He's
probably not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? He's not going anywhere. Especially the new Gaethje. Obviously, the old one would go out on his shield, but this new Gaethje we've seen.
Whitman is a genius.
Yeah, that guy is the cleverest. Oh my god!
Did you see all the pictures of him smiling while he's fighting?
He just loves it. He just loves the game, doesn't he? He don't care who's winning or losing.
He's smiling while hugging Leon.
He loves it. Oh,
so funny.
The thing is, that's the type of guy you want to see in MMA. Yeah, he's got his fighters, but he's watching somebody else have his moment. Do you know what I mean? And he's happy for him.
That's such a good team. He's got Rose, Justin, and Usman under like. Holy shit, that's what, 3... Just Gaethje's never held a title. He had the interim belt, didn't he?
Interim belt, yeah.
So that's 3 world champions.
With the lightweight division, you could probably have a few champions from that division. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the top 5 could all be fucking champions.
I tell you what, though, after watching Gaethje and Fiziev, I know this is going to sound so random, but immediately I was like, holy shit, Paddy's in this division, he's so fucked.
Oh my god, it's savage, isn't it?
I was just hang on, they're in the same division.
Marathon.
It's so crazy. You look at them, you look at like someone who's built like Fiziev, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but compare just like look at him alone compared to Paddy. Just like holy shit, like how are these guys in the same division? Like how the fuck is that the case? But also, can you imagine Paddy fighting anyone in the top 5?
No. I can't imagine fighting anyone in the top 10, mate.
He's been very quiet at the moment. I can't wait to watch him fight. I love watching him fight, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's the thing. He brings a great atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? I'm always going to watch him fight no matter what.
As a Brit, we love him.
Oh, yeah. That's a hella atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? That is crazy. But there is some absolute killers in that division. It can't last too long.
I want to see him fight Beneil Dariush. I know it's such a stupid fight. Such a stupid fight, and I know Dariush is fighting Oliveira. They are fighting, aren't they? Yeah.
I believe so.
I know it's such a stupid fight, and I know it'll never happen, and I'm fine with that. But Dariush does not get enough hype.
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't. Absolutely not.
And what that guy would be able to do to Paddy would just be an absolute violation.
Yeah,
and
savage,
I think that would be that only like beating someone like that. I mean, to be fair, if he beats Charles, I think that'll bring the same even more hype to people, especially people like us. We actually we don't just watch the casual sort of event.
Yeah,
we fucking love this shit. Mm-hmm. That means more to people like us, but to a fucking casual who's watched like maybe 2 pay-per-views in their whole life, like who knows like Conor McGregor and John Jones, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like Anderson Silva, mainly because like Jake fucking Paul. Oh, let's not even talk about that. But let's not even talk about that. Let's not go there. But like people who are like who only know that shit, like think that's the only way you get someone like Dariush, who's so fucking good, but just unappreciated, to be noticed by casuals. You have to get him to beat someone like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's sad. It's sad.
It is sad, unfortunately. Like you say, he's gone his whole career basically sort of unrecognised. You know what I mean? Only recently has he really been put on a pedestal, as he should be. He's pretty much deserving of a title fight already, in my opinion.
I agree.
With a win over Charles Oliveira,
no doubt.
If you don't give that guy a title shot, you know what I mean? I'll be fucking pissed.
Well, I saw Islam tweeted today that he wants to fight Leon Edwards.
Yeah, saw that.
And I don't think it's fair to the rest of your division.
This is absolutely true.
Because
especially
those guys,
lightweight.
You've got to respect the fact that the winner of Oliveira versus Dariush is going to be your next fight, I think.
Yeah.
I think
I think so too.
Or the winner of Gaethje and Kazan. Well, Gaethje, obviously.
Yeah.
You can like get choked a lot, can't you?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Some brains there was a dead in there.
Got a bit of brain delay.
Fucking hell. Now I totally agree. You know, if not, if Makai wants to sit out for a little bit longer, you could have. Nah, you can't have that. I was going to say Dariush if he wins versus Gaethje, and if not Gaethje versus Oliveira too. But Dariush deserves that shot. You know, he deserves it. I don't want to say he's coming to the end, but he doesn't have too much longer left, and he's on an insane run. He deserves that shot, especially if he gets this win. I would rather Gaethje sit out for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he just had a slugfest, so he's got to have to.
Yeah.
And also, you look at Gaethje and you think, okay, he is deserving, but he has also been an interim title holder. And
that's true.
Dariush has got to have his moment. I fucking love him too much for him to not get it.
It's so good. The jits on him is so underrated too.
I know. I'm so
underrated
for this fight.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for it because it's going to be a jiu-jitsu match. And I know that jiu-jitsu is not as exciting to watch. Even as a jiu-jitsu guy, I'd rather watch MMA than jiu-jitsu. It's just way more fun. But there's going to be some good shit going on here. Would
you say there's a massive difference between jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu used in MMA?
100%.
Yeah.
They're different things. Like, if I know guys, I'm pretty sure we know the same guy. I've told you about him before. He sparred at our gym, last time I sparred him, and I love the guy. And he's not a bad guy, and he's my rank, but you can tell he's trained jiu-jitsu at an MMA gym and not at a jiu-jitsu gym, because it's just like, if I can't get a Kimura, if he's trying to get a Kimura and someone's got their hands connected, instead of trying to find a way to strip the grips in a clean way where you're safe or chain into the next submission, he's just like, fuck you, I'm elbowing you in the ribs until you let go and give me a Kimura.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's one of, you can tell, it's not that it doesn't work, because it clearly fucking does.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
You can tell very quickly if someone's learned MMA from, jiu-jitsu from an MMA gym or from a jiu-jitsu, pure gym. It's totally, they'll like top position for one. They'll have a lot of wrestling. They won't like the idea of pulling guard, which I just love because pulling guard pisses everyone off, and that's why I do. I've got takedowns. I'm pretty sure. Did you see that video I put on my story yesterday of me fucking reversing that single leg that guy hit me with?
Yeah.
With that Kimura grip, that fucking throwing backwards. I go for that. I got some wrestling. I just like fucking pissing people off.
yeah. That's fair. You're almost, toying them. I'll give you the dominant position. You can have the dominant position.
You can't fucking pull guard in MMA though.
No, it's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous.
If it goes wrong, it's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, the second that you're against high level wrestlers, don't get me wrong, guard shuts wrestlers down. But typically speaking, jiu-jitsu on paper versus wrestling wins every time because wrestling has no submissions.
Yeah.
So and wrestling, the way you win a match for people who don't know is by accumulating points by holding your opponent in various pins. Where you flatten them out on their back and you pin their shoulders and their back to the floor for X amount of time. I'm not exactly sure on wrestling rule set, but I know that's how matches are won.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is you put me on my back, I'm like, sweet, I'm going to fucking just invert and I'm going to rip your knees apart.
Does pure jiu-jitsu have a point system also? Obviously, I come from purely MMA, you know what I mean?
This is where jiu-jitsu gets a bit weird because there's no strikes, but the scoring system is based on your ability to strike. So mount mount is 4 points. If you have 4 mount on someone, it's 4 points because you can just rain shit down on their face, right?
Oh, I'll give you. It's
knee
the
on
potential
belly,
two.
Belly, where you have your knee on their sternum and like your other leg is off to the side, and you're controlling them, like you're flattening them on the back and like on their back with your knee in their sternum. That will give you 3 points if you get that position.
Yeah.
Because you can strike pretty good from it. Having the back with 2 hooks will give you 4 points because it's never good to have anyone on your back. It's like the worst fucking position. You can be.
Yeah, literally. Everybody
not
that
just
you know, no. Everybody that's watched MMA, you know,
fight. Don't turn your back.
Yeah, don't ever do that. Don't do that.
And like if you're on bottom position and you sweep someone, so that's if you have a position where you have someone in a type of guard and you put them, you go from bottom position to being in top position. That will score you 2 points.
Okay.
And then any takedown will score you 2 points as well.
Okay.
As well as if I go for a submission and you have to defend it, that gives me something called an advantage. So it's like a point, but it's not a point. It can,
okay.
If you get what I mean. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But that's the IBJJF rule set, which is like the standards for jiu-jitsu. Like if you go to your first class, that'll be what they're teaching.
Okay.
But it's weird because it's based on your ability of like how good you could punch them. So
yeah, but it's the potential. Is it? No, that's what I mean. It's the potential too.
Yeah.
So it's to say, like, if you were here, you'd be able to smash the fuck out of their face right now.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Yeah, okay, I get you. Right. That's cool. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. I knew it had transition points, and I knew it had sweep points, and I knew submissions counted 4 points. Obviously, like the active. Yeah. But I didn't know that, you know, that's news to me, that.
It's interesting because if you think about it, when you look at it on paper, the point system doesn't favour anyone who plays bottom position at all. Takedowns will score you points, but pulling guard will not score you any points.
I was going to say, is that why people hate pulling guard so much?
Yeah, it forces. I like it because I like bottom position. I play a lot of like I like a lot of leg entanglements. I don't go for leg locks, but I like using the leg entanglements to set up attacks to the back.
Okay, fair.
People to put their back on the floor because the way you defend the back is, you know, if you get taken down, someone's going to take your back. You can put your back on the canvas, on the mat.
Yeah, of course.
They can't get on your back. And for them to do that, if their back's on the floor, I can just get up. And in jiu-jitsu, I'm scoring points.
There you go, fair enough.
So that's sort of like what I like to do. But it doesn't, you know, you're not going to score points if you pull guard. You're only going to score points on the bottom if you sweep them and then attack them from the top. So you don't get points for getting someone in full guard.
Okay, fair enough. Now, like I said, I didn't know that. I knew I had points, but I didn't know it was the potential to be able to strike from that. I thought it was just the grappling side of things, if that makes sense. But that's new to me.
It makes more sense than the striking thing, because you can't fucking strike.
that's what I mean. Yeah. That's mad. But now, I was curious. Obviously, I love jiu-jitsu and MMA. Of course I do. I love watching it, especially when you get two, you know, grapplers that know how to grapple, like Gamrot versus Tarzuki. And I know it wasn't jiu-jitsu, that was wrestling, but my word, you can have some
scrambles,
excite and grapple.
Scrambles.
Exactly.
That's what people want to see. They don't want to see
absolutely.
And a guy I fucking love that because the crowd reaction is always hilarious is Alexei Olenek, Boa Constrictor. Because he has this mean Ezekiel choke, and he will just grab someone in the clinch and then just he'll pull them into mount and then just choke them. And everyone who's watching is just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's grabbed him and just like pulled him on top of him, and then the guy's unconscious and they're like, what? What
happened? I got up. Literally. It's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Like there's a choke I go for a lot at the moment called a baseball bat choke, and my coach always calls it a suicide choke because for it to work, your opponent has to partial guard. And like there's a really famous video of it's one of the Gracies. It might be Hodger Gracie or Carlos Gracie or something like that. But he's in a tournament and he hits a guy with this choke, and the guy takes his back and he's still choking him while he's got his back taken, and he puts him to sleep. And it's just no one fucking expects that. Like it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It works.
That is insane. Listen, Tom, it's been fantastic.
Pleasure.
I love it. I will.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We'll sort something out again, and absolutely.
The next time I'll be at yours and we can record it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll go from there.
Right.
Well, thank you everybody.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Episode number 11. Take care, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.